Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. I can't believe it's May already, but it feels like May out here in Chicago. We've been having just absolutely beautiful weather. It was like 60-something degrees for my run today. One of the few times I felt like I didn't need gloves so far in 2021 while I've been running, and it was just absolutely magnificent. And then I just got back home, spending some time with the family, going out for a picnic out by the lake, playing with the kids, getting them on the scooter. So it's just been absolutely beautiful weather. Nothing to complain. I mean, it's a little bit windy if I'm going to complain a little bit, but you know, as far as playing with the kids, they don't mind too much. It only bothered me a little bit on the run, but it's just absolutely fantastic out there. How are you guys doing today? Everyone on the podcast, if you're listening in on this on the audio only version, hopefully you guys are having a good run. And everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you are having a great weekend as well. All right. Looks like we got Super Schmaltz in here. Says, currently find the energy to go for a run. Just hit the wall half an hour ago. I guess I could nap. I mean, I would say take a nap and then go for the run. Go for both. It's the weekend. Go for it. Go big. But it's beautiful out there. And there are a lot of people out on the lakefront, though. I will tell you that. But it's great to see. You know, there's a lot of bikes out there, a lot of Divvy bikes. That's our bike share service. So a lot of people on their bike share bikes, and it's great. My wife was commenting. There's a game. It's like you've got this like thing. It looks like a trampoline, but like it's kind of like volleyball. But you hit the ball down at this little trampoline, and the ball is like the size of a softball. I don't know what the name of that game is, but like. That game is very popular along the lakefront in Chicago. Just where we were sitting and having a little picnic, we saw 3 separate games going on of that game. It's kind of weird. It doesn't seem to be like other games where like people might like challenge other groups to it, you know. But it's definitely taken over the popularity of say like bags or cornhole. I don't know what you guys call it, but that game, people like that volleyball spiky game. It looks like fun. But yeah, that's pretty popular right now. All right, Rick says, "Hey, Kofuzi just returned from a nice and easy 11-mile long run. That's nice. Hope that everyone's Sunday run went well too. Awesome, very good. That's a solid Sunday, 11 miles." Ricardo Katagiri says, "Yo, what's going on today? Got a marathon PR in a live race. Awesome. 3:08:23. That's speedy." Says he's very happy with the result. Great job, Ricardo. You need some help? You good? Okay, She's moving a chair. My daughter is. All right. And it says, "Hey, Kofuzi and everybody." Now she's annoyed that I mentioned her on the live stream. And it says, "Hey, Kofuzi and everybody. Happy Sunday. Just about to add a pair of Carbon X2s to the basket." It's a good shoe. I'm liking it. For my long run yesterday, I was debating whether or not to use the Carbon X2 because I knew it was going to be a longer run, but I was also going to be easy. So like easy the whole time. So I'm like, is it overkill to have X2s on an easy run? But what if it's 18 miles? I was really torn. At the last minute, I went with the DV8 Nitros. I think both would have been good options for the day. But yeah, I was thinking real hard about running those yesterday. All right. Steve says a day of PBs today. I love to hear it. Says ran a 1:35 half. Awesome. Great work. And he's over the moon at that. Well, fantastic job, Steve. That's a speedy half. Great job. And Chris says, "Great races and times, everyone. I got an unproductive run from Garmin today. Cowbell. Garmin tells you if you have unproductive runs? Like they were like, I mean, you know, it'd be funny. I'm trying to think. I don't think Polar does that. But you know what I think would be great? If like there were a watch, I mean, this could be like a good, I guess, April Fool's Day joke. If a company came out and said like, we have like the Tough Love watch, and what the watch does is it like, instead of encouraging you, it's always like discouraging you, and saying like, you know, when I was your age, I was running twice this long, you know, or something like that. Just gives you messages of discouragement. Like one would be great is if like after a run, it just goes blah, blah, and there's like a screen that says junk miles. That would be fantastic, right? I don't know if I would buy that watch. It'd be pretty funny to see. Or if like you were really close to your PB on it, and like let's say you ran like you're shooting for a 3-hour marathon, and you come in at 3 hours and 2 minutes, it just goes bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. And it's just like, too bad. I think that'd be amazing. All right. All right. Spence Ohm says, yo, what's going on? Set a 5-minute PR and a 15-minute course PR in the half marathon today? Dang, Spence. Great job. He's feeling great. Should have been more proactive with gels, though. Looking forward to more runs with the humans. With humans. I didn't know if you were talking about human gels or with people. But very cool, very cool. I've been seeing a lot of footage of people running races like in person. And yeah, I'm getting excited for it. I'm getting excited. I still haven't signed up for that spring marathon yet out in the suburbs, but because I'm not sure if it's a good idea to do it. But I just figured, well, maybe it'll just be a 26-mile easy run. Kind of like I had an easy run yesterday of 18 miles. Maybe I'll do an easy run and just spend like, how long would that take? Maybe like another 8 miles. So like 3.5 hours on feet. Is that too much to do 2 weeks before an ultra? I don't know. I've got my afternoon coffee, guys. Fresh brewed. Feeling excited about it. All right. Let's see. Let's scroll down a little bit. Martha says, though, in terms of encouraging watch stuff, though, yeah, where did it go? I just saw it. Oh man, where did it go? Sorry, I missed it. It was something she said something along the lines of like her watch tells her she has the fitness of a 20-year-old. That's amazing. That's great. I don't know. I don't remember my Garmin telling me those things. Interesting. All right, CB76 is here. What's going on, Stevie? Scott says, hey, all. Jeff Elliott says, hello, everyone. All right, guys, sorry. I'm going to scroll down all the way to the bottom just so I could stay up with you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. All right, if I missed your question, please type it in again. Sorry to make you repeat yourselves, but I'll make sure to get to it. All right, Steven Gersdorf says, I finally leveled up from the Escalante 1.5 to Racers, and they are awesome. Very firm but flexible at the same time. Yeah, I mean, is the only difference between the Escalante and the Escalante Racers just it's a much lower stack height? Is that like the primary difference? I've looked at those before. I've wanted because I don't know if they do it every year, but for a while they were making like Escalante Racers, a Chicago Marathon edition. And I just thought it looked really cool because it had like the skyline on the side of the shoe. And I was like, oh, maybe I should try that. But that was before I'd ever tried an ultra before. And so I was like, I don't know. But man. And Wojciech Malkaus. Let me try that again. Wojciech Malkowicz says, I can't wait till Chicago Marathon. I'm in Phoenix and training here is so tough. Yeah. I mean, it's seeming more and more likely. I mean, early in the year, I gave it 50-50, maybe even less than 50-50 chances. I think that, we'll have to kind of still see what's going on globally. And it's like the third of the world majors to go this fall. So I think that, they'll have some guidance in terms of what other countries are doing. But things are opening up here in Chicago. I mean, at least for like how we feel about Chicagoans being here, and then also kind of inviting tourists to start coming here. Like tourist attractions started opening up, Navy Pier started opening up. We're feeling confident. We're feeling good about it. The numbers in the state of Illinois are all going down. So hopefully that means good things for Chicago. But in Phoenix, I imagine things are getting pretty hot pretty fast there. So yeah, it'll be different here. But I'm looking forward to it too. All right, Mike Daniel says, this is my 14th day running in a row. Nice work. Any tips for keeping at it and staying strong? I would say, check yourself in terms of like, how's your body feeling? Doing some mobility work and kind of like get on the floor, roll around a little bit, do a little bit of light stretching. But by doing that, you'll kind of see like, oh, my hip is really tight. So maybe it needs some massage work. Maybe you need to work on opening up those hips before you get running your next time. So like do a lot of kind of systems checks. So I think that's one way to do it. And then, if you're feeling really run down on one day, but you want to keep the streak going, just remember to get out there for just a little bit of time. You don't have to run a marathon every day to keep a run streak going. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. And Daddy says, I feel your pain, Wojciech. He's in Tucson and it's warm. Yeah. Ooh. I don't think I've ever been to Tucson. I'd love to go. Maybe I need to do a Southwest swing. I'd love to see like Albuquerque. I don't think I've ever been to Tucson. I mean, basically in the Southwest, I've been to Phoenix, Scottsdale area. You know, that's all one big like kind of sprawl. And then does Vegas count as Southwest? I don't really think that counts. But that's kind of, I think that's it. I need to get out more. All right. Let's see. Daniel Sudo says, I was watching Nick Bear's triathlon post. They're still wearing masks in Cancun. I don't think the masks are going away during events when you can't test everyone. Yeah. Are they going to have to wear masks while they're competing too? So I feel like at least in the around here, it's just kind of like, you know, put it on. You'll need it on the start. You'll need it at the finish. And then there aren't really like post-race festivities. I haven't been to a live race yet, so I'm not sure. And then I think that like, usually, I think it's what I've seen in a lot of places is like, if you're going to pass someone, or if you're going to, cause like they're staggering everyone's start, or if you're going to end up running in a pack, then I think they kind of would like it. But yeah, you know, for you to put one on. So I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, overall, I agree with you that they're not going away anytime soon, but you know, I'd be happy to see some events, assuming that like the community levels there are safe enough to do so, you know, but hopefully we'll get to start seeing some of those. All right. Yeah, Carlos Griego says, come on down to Albuquerque. You can do some runs along the foothills of the mountains and the Rio Grande. Oh, I didn't know Albuquerque was that far south. But yeah, interesting. I got to figure that out. I got to figure out a Southwest swing at some point. Can't remember where McBride says about Vegas is. I think Vegas counts as one of the circles of hell. Yeah, it's an interesting place. Oh, Ted and Ruth says, hi, everyone. Is anyone watching Sabrina Verjeen's record attempt on the Wainwrights around the lakes in UK? Oh, I didn't know that was going on today. CV76 says, what's the minimum for a run streak? 1 mile? Well, I think that depends on however a person defines it. For me, if I really wanted to try for a run streak, I would probably put it at 5K. Yeah, but like, you know, I think that at the same time, like if someone were trying to go for like, I mean, it depends. Like if you were want to say like I ran 1,000 days in a row, minimum 5 minutes, that would be like, wait, what? You know, 1,000 days sounds impressive, but minimum 5 minutes, you know? So like, I feel like it has to be like a decent distance. 1 mile, I think is probably acceptable for a run streak. I would probably put it at 5K for me. Because I think that for me, I mean, I'm not a huge run streaker. I do end up run streaking, but I don't aim for it. I think they're cool. I like it when people do them, but I don't have anything against them, but I don't try for them myself. But for me, like, I feel like if I couldn't get 5K in, I'd probably be like, scrap it. I'll just run again tomorrow. That's kind of how it would be, I think. I'm not sure, but I've never really tried it. And Daniel Sudo says about that race, that triathlon race in Cancun, he said there'll be no mask just during staging. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I could see that just because you got so many people in a small condensed area, even if they're outside. Yeah, my wife and I were talking about that today. Like, would we feel comfortable going to like a baseball game? You know, I mean, the harder thing, I mean, we're uncomfortable going to baseball games because of the peanut allergy we have in our family. And so like, where's the place where you're most likely to find just peanuts everywhere? A baseball game. So that's always a tough one for us anyway. But we're like, would we feel comfortable doing that? I'm not sure. Because I saw that like, you know, the Kentucky Derby went on this weekend, although with limited capacity. There's just a lot of stuff happening, you know. And it says about the run streakies, I think 5K is a minimum for a run as well. Let's do a 1 mile minimum though. Yeah, I think if you were trying to go for a very long run streak, then I think that'd be okay. I wouldn't scoff and be like 1,000 days, but some of them were only a mile. I don't think I would ever say that. I don't know, but I guess there's some people that probably would do that to other people because people are weird like that. So I don't know. I think if you were trying to do a run streak, I would say go for 5K at least. Daniel says at least 3K for a run streak for me. I could take 3K. All right. Remy says, no run streak, but I've done activity streaks. Every day for a month, run, lift, ride, kayak, boxing, rock climbing. Let's go streaking. That sounds like much more fun than run streaking. Yeah. I would like to learn. I still want to learn rock climbing. We're trying to think about when my daughter would be able to get back into rock climbing. But I would like to get into rock climbing too, just so that I could also help her. So when she wants to get more time on the wall, I can know how to do the things that she would need. So that way she could get more time on the wall. I don't know what the words are called, but yeah, it's something maybe I should take care of now. And it says Pippa won't accept anything less than a 5K if she puts on her running harness. Well, yeah, you don't want to let her down. So I would definitely, it's like, oh, sorry, I knew I was running late today, but can't let the dog down. That's awesome. That's funny. I can envision the dog, like if you tried to take her out for, let's say, like a 2-mile run, or like a 3K, at the end, her like tugging and being like, no, we're not going in yet. Like, this is too short. We got to get back out there. What are you doing? I could definitely see that. Renchetta says, hey, Kofuzi, just realized you never reviewed the Nike Tempo Next Percent. Is there any specific reason why? Kind of two reasons why. One, I didn't think it was all that. It would look really weird to me. And by the time I didn't get it early. So by the time it was available for me to purchase it, everyone had kind of put their views out on it. And everyone was like, this is great, or this is terrible, but I could see how people would like it, So I was like, people are really like one way or the other on it, but it seems like even the people that love it are pretty lukewarm on it. There's a couple of people that love it. Like I think Ben Parks really loved it. So that was one thing. So I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of other shoes out there to run in, and I'm not sure that I need to add anything to the discussion. The other thing is that it's taller than 40 millimeters. So like, not that I care all that much about World Athletics rules for myself, because it's not like anyone's ever going to ask me to surrender my shoes at the end of a race and subject it to testing. Right. So like, it really doesn't matter at all, but it just seems weird to like, why are they making the shoe that breaks the rules? I get it. It's a trainer, but, and there's not a racing shoe, but still just, that was the other thing that I thought was weird. Daniel Sudo says, do you think Hella ends his run streak after running across the USA? He's putting in 40 miles a day. It's a lot of volume no matter the pace. I feel like that'd be a good place to put it down, right? Because unless you're just going to keep going forever. What is his minimum? Is his minimum 5K? Is it 3K? Is it a mile? I don't know. But like, yeah, that's crazy. 40 miles a day. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that. I think that like, I feel like a half marathon a day is a lot. I mean, that's what 7 times 13 is. Oh boy, we're gonna do some math here. 90 something miles in a week. That's a lot. That's a lot of miles in a week. But man. Secure Elite says, I would love to compete in a race where you run and there's some sort of rock climbing included. Well, I mean, there kind of is obstacle course racing, but it's not exactly what you're talking about, I think. But yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely room out there, and I hope like now, I think 2021 would be a great time to test it out. Although maybe people are just like, give me regular races for a while. I don't want to do weird stuff. I just want to do the old stuff. But I think that there's definitely room out there in the marketplace for different kinds of racing. So, I mean, like at some point, someone was like, here's what we should do. I know there's swim, bike, run. People are doing that all the time. How about if we just do the swimming and the running? Right. So there's like that event. And then some people are like, no. You know what we got to do? Just the running and the bicycling. So there's like weird combo events. So I feel like people be ready to do like combo events. I'm down for it. I like it. All right. B714 is here. Says, hi, David. He's a hi to everyone. Where'd it go? Hello, Cohen, everyone. Yeah, that's the one I was looking for. What's going on, Beast? All right. Chris Dyke says, I was able to get the Tempo Next at a great price, so I gave it a try. That's another thing. It was like $200. He says, it's a pure tempo shoe. No easy paces allowed. Yeah, I think that's what threw a lot of people off. A lot of people that were reviewing it, I don't think quite like understood that about it. And I was like, well, would they like it if they knew that you're basically only supposed to run fast in it? But like, I mean, even for me in my racing shoes, right? So I'm like, yeah, but like I've got to warm up in a shoe, and I gotta like, if I'm doing a workout, there's recovery jogs, So like, it can't be miserable at easy paces. But I guess I think I don't know. I think I would probably enjoy the Tempo Next Percent. I think I would understand it for what they were trying to do, but I just felt like there's a lot of people that reviewed that shoe, and we didn't need another one. So, yeah. Noah says, managed to get 20% off the Alphafly. How'd you do that? That's incredible. What are the main differences compared to the Next Percent? I think the main difference is the squishiness. So it's going to feel just like a lot more like there's like a squish and release that you're feeling, and that's coming from those giant air pods in the front, air pockets. Pockets? I forget what they call them. They're not air bags because that's like Nike Air. It's different technology than what's in Nike Air. But like the Zoom Air pockets, and I think those Zoom Air pockets, it's similar technology, but they're very different than like the AirPods in, let's say like a Peg. Let's go to 36, like a Peg 36. And so that's going to be the main thing that you're feeling. That's very, very different. I feel like because of that, I think that I feel like the Alphafly is geared towards marathon racing, maybe half marathon racing. I mean, I can run in it from 5K to marathon. I think it's because I'm not like super powerful, that it suits me well. I mean, and the Ingebrigtsens set records in the Alphafly at the 5K distance. So like people can run fast in it. But I think the general way that most people would break it down is, half marathon and marathon is Alphafly, half marathon or faster is Next Percent. That's how a lot of people look at it. And it says, I started an exercise streak January 1st, 2020, no days off. Some days are cycling or Tabata class. And Ron Hill did a 52-year run streak. 52 years? That's incredible. Wow, what a blessing to be healthy for that long. And like injury-free. Amazing. Oh, Luis Becerra says, hello's in Illinois right now, just a bit south of Chicago. I didn't know that. Oh, man, he made it a long way. Incredible. All right, Teddy Jordan says, howdy, Kofuzi. What's going on, Teddy? Good to see you again. And Ron Andre says, some people like to warm up and cool down with other shoes, so maybe the tempos are best for that. Yeah, I suppose so, but I feel like if the purpose of the shoes to do threshold work, then I feel like it has to also be decent at a fartlek. Like I feel like it'd be really weird if it were like, only the threshold efforts is it good at, but like, I guess some people do warm up and cool down with other shoes, but like, I don't know. I don't have time for that, I think. Like, sometimes when I see Seth and he's like going to a track or going to a workout and he brings his IKEA bag full of stuff, he's got his stick, he's got his roller, he's got a couple of different pairs of shoes and all the stuff in there. I'm just like, just go outside and go for a run. I mean, I know I overcomplicate things a lot, but I'm like, I don't know about this whole changing shoes business. I've been seeing like a lot of workouts put on by pros as well. Like, so people like about Seth's level, maybe a little bit faster. And they do the same thing where they might do like, they'll bring their speed shoe. They have their warm-up shoe. Then they bring their speed shoe for that part of the workout. But then they're like, you know what? If it's starting to get tough, or they really feel like they want to spike up, they might switch into spikes. I've seen that. I kind of get it, I guess. But like, I don't know. I just don't have patience, I think. I'm impatient in that. Daniel Sudo says, what pace per mile do you need to run at to get the benefit of a carbon-plated shoe? I think that the way to think of it, Daniel, is think of it as the amount of effort do you need to be at to get the benefit of a carbon-plated shoe. And I'd say for some shoes, let's talk about the Alphafly or the Vaporfly Next Percent, for example. I think that most people running at marathon effort will feel the benefit of the carbon-plated shoe. And that's, I think, is part of like the miracle of the Vaporfly is that like lots of people in a lot of different levels of proficiency can benefit from it. Some shoes I feel like take a little bit more skill and power to be able to get the full benefit out of. Endorphin Pro is one that comes to mind right away when I think about it, because I just feel like I get a lot out of it, but I feel like I'm feeling mostly the foam. I don't really feel like I'm getting the benefit of that carbon fiber plate unless I'm running at like half marathon effort or faster or harder. And I don't think it's about, there's no like 6 minutes per mile, 7 minutes per mile cutoff. So I don't think it works quite that way. And I think that there's been some, I've heard of some studies that are out there that are saying that, like, they say like this 4% more economy by running in an X% at the elite level. But a lot of scientists or the sports physiologists are thinking that they think that the economy benefits may be more for people who are not elite. And so, like, I feel like the people that are like, if you're not running a 3-hour marathon, or if you're not running a 240 marathon, what do you running in those for? I think those are fancy ways of saying, like, that slow people don't belong in running. There's lots of fancy ways that people like to say that. People that are, I don't know, insecure about their own running. People love to do that, but I think that a lot of people can benefit from them. All right. Marco Mayer says, can you one time make a test on more easier tempo and carbon shoes, like 5 minutes per kilometers? Are those carbons still more effective? I mean, yeah, I run in those, I feel them all the time. So like when I go for a run, I do anywhere between 2 and 4 miles of warm up. And that warm up pace is like 5:30 per kilometer. And then if I have threshold sessions, I'll be doing 6 minutes at my threshold effort and then a minute recovery. So I'll get everything between like 5:30 to, I'm not sure exactly where my threshold level is, somewhere like 350 per kilometer. And so like I get all those different sensations. Some shoes, it depends on the foam, where will you really still feel a lot of the carbon or not, and also the shape of the carbon, right? And so like the answer isn't quite so straightforward, but this question is pretty much the exact same as the other question that I was talking about earlier, where people at a variety of paces can still feel the benefit of carbon. But like, there's not a cutoff. Like, you got to be so fast it's not like a roller coaster. You must be this tall to ride. Carbon plated shoes aren't exactly like that. Now, if your marathon is, let's say, more than like 5.5 hours, 6 hours, something like that, then I think maybe the trade-off then is not whether you would feel a benefit from the carbon, but if you're going to be on feet for a longer period of time, would you overall have more of a benefit from having more cushion underfoot because you're hitting the ground that many more times? So like there's different ways of looking at it, but so I'm not, it's kind of like the same question, but I have tested it. I test it every single time. All right. Renchet test says, what was your next racing shoe for the marathon distance? Well, if I do that marathon, the next marathon I might do is going to be a workout, not like a real race, because I'm getting ready for a 50K. And so for that one, I'm not sure what I'm going to run in, because I'm going to try to run it easy. But right now, like if I were to like race a marathon, I'd probably pick the Metaspeed Sky, because I haven't run a marathon in that one yet. And I would love to see how it does over a longer distance. I think it would be pretty amazing. So that would probably be my next one that I would pick. Yeah. Wastelander says, are you going to go after a sub 3 this year or next? I'll probably go for it at CIM in December. For this summer, I just want to run a lot of events with a lot of people, and just kind of celebrate running being back. And then for Chicago, I'm going to try and run it with my running buddy and see if I can pace him to a time if he wants me to. I still have to, hammer that out, those details out with him, if he wants me to or not, if he wants to go at it all alone. So if he wants to go at it alone, maybe I'll try and make Chicago a 3-hour attempt, but probably not. I'll probably wait for CIM to do it. So it's pretty much both. It's kind of next year almost. Louis says, did anyone see the Masters Mile yesterday at the Trial of Miles? The winner did like 4:46, and the 60-year-old last place was like 5:06 mile. That's incredible. People are fast. People are fast. Carlos Griego says, Seth goes full movie production, sets up camera for even parking his car or going to the fridge. Yeah, I mean, but like that bag, that blue bag that he has, that's not cameras. You know what I mean? That blue bag is like his shoes and stuff that he wants to bring along. Now, I know a lot of it, sometimes he wants to talk about a couple of different shoes, like while he's out there. So that's probably why he does that. But you know, he loves his big bags. Yeah, and I think it's cute when he does that. But it's not for me. I don't like carrying a lot of stuff. Sarah says, what's going on, Sarah? She says, was the firmer midsole the main component of Nova Blast 2 that made it feel more stable? I ran a little for the first time in 2 months today in the OG. Yeah, you know, I don't know that. Yeah, I will say yes to that. But I'm not sure if the foam itself has been like made more firm. They've changed the shape of the midsole. So a lot of times that shaping can have a more substantial effect. And I think that most of us have been realizing over the past couple of years. So they've changed the shape of it a little bit, and they've changed the angle of it. So it's not a 10 millimeter drop shoe. It's an 8 millimeter drop shoe now too. So I think that's part of it. And I think part of it's the rubber, but overall the stability is coming from those changes. There's not like stability elements to it. There's not like, you know, posting in it. There's not like a denser part at one point to make it, you know, more like crush or crumple resistant. It's still FF Blast foam, so it's nice and soft, but it just doesn't like squish around like when you step in it. So I do like it a lot more. All right, let's see what else we got here. Alan Shrimpton says, wearing a carbon plated shoe could also be a placebo effect. You feel faster, you are faster. I mean, they've talked about that too, as well as like whether there is a placebo effect to the shoe. And even in the New York Times study, when they did like a retroactive, like a regression analysis where they looked at people Strava accounts and saw like what their increases in PRs were running, you know, pre Vaporfly 4% and post, and they were like, all these people got like so much faster, especially in these non-elites. They're getting so much faster by running in the shoe. You know, they're like, we certainly recognize that like marathoning becoming more popular and people like learning more about how to train and how that information being like readily available on the internet now, where previously it kind of wasn't. All those things factor into, I mean, just having more people running more consistently means more people are going to have more drastic increases in their PRs. So I think they talked about that too, and whether that's different than the placebo effect a little bit. But, you know, there are other things that go into like whether or not the carbon plated shoes are mechanical doping or cheating or have any benefit or don't have any benefit. But yeah, it could be a placebo effect. But I think that there's that is an element to it, but I don't think that's the totality of it. This would be my take on it. All right. Matt says, do you remember Kangaroo, the running shoe in the early 80s that had a zipper pocket on the side of the right shoe? Sweet. I don't remember that. I want to say that I remember that, but I don't think I remember that. All right. Looks like Scotty B's here. What's going on, Scotty B? How you doing? He says, I'll catch the rerun tonight. Need to get off my feet. Oh, that's Scott. That's Scott. Sorry, Scott, not Scotty B. Where's Scotty B? I thought I came in here. Oh, there he is. It's a little bit further up. Ian Gourlay says, would you say a carbon plate shoe is a stability shoe? I would say no. I don't think that it is. There are some companies that are using it to help stabilize the squish, what would otherwise be probably a too squishy of a shoe or maybe too much stack height. And so the carbon does have somewhat of a stabilizing effect, but that doesn't change a neutral racing shoe to being a stability shoe. So I would not go quite that far. Oh, here we go. Scotty B. There it is. Says, hey, all checking in from Minnesota. Went in on a little bike ride today. Awesome. Very cool. Tommy D56 says, ASICS Meta Racer. How many miles can I get out of them? I bought them for tempo days. Thanks. If you're using them only for your tempo days, I think you can get a lot of miles out of it. It's going to depend on your surface, and like your individual foot strike. But I mean, I think that Meta Racer, you can get a lot out of that because that foam that's in there, I don't think it's doing a lot of crumpling and squishing. So, I mean, I still consider it a race shoe. So like, I don't know, my inclination is to say like 125 to 150 miles worth of racing, or 150 miles total of racing, and then maybe another 50 to 100 miles of workouts. But if you're only going to use it for your tempo days, I think you could probably get a lot out of that. You might be able to get even more. I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty high durability shoe. The outsole rubber is holding up really, really well. It's a beautiful outsole as well, too. All right, Li Zhang says, late. I'm at my mom's house giving the caregiver a day. Oh, that's nice. I hope your mom's doing okay. Good to see you. Piet Johnson says, hey, Kofuzi, any recommendations for an easy day shoe, all zone 2 runs? I just tested out the Nova Boss 2. That's not coming out for a little while, but that's going to be a great one. The Mach 4 is going to also be a great one that's out right now. Let's see. Triumph 18 or Triumph 17. I think I like the Triumph 17 more. But those are both going to be pretty good shoes as well. Clifton's. I haven't tried the 8 yet. I have them, but I just haven't tried them yet. I'm not sure when I'll get to those. Maybe next week. But yeah, my first two off the top of my mind would be like, and also the Invincible. So 3. The Invincible, Mach 4, and Nova Blast 2 when you can get your hands on that. But yeah, those are some good choices. All right. What else we got here? We got another vote. Frank gives another vote for the Triumph 17. That's a good one. Dave Cowdrey says, I wore carbon-plated shoes for the first time ever at a race yesterday and took 10 minutes and 19 seconds off my half marathon PB and the next percent 2s. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of time off. Incredible. I mean, that's like almost a minute per mile off. Insane. Great job. And I'm sure it's not just the shoes, David. So good work. Good work out there. All these people remembering those kangaroo shoes. Scott said, I had a pair. And Daniel says, Matt, I remember. And we were showing our age by admitting that. Yeah, in the early 80s, I would have been like, I was born in 79. So like I would have been pretty young in the early 80s. Ben Y said, went to IKEA today and waited over an hour for a veggie hot dog. This is news to me. IKEA has veggie hot dogs now. Number 1. And number 2, you have to wait in line for an hour for it? Is it not? It's like, because like at the IKEAs by me, there's the regular place where you can eat, the place where you get the meatballs, right? There's like the cafeteria. But then like the cheap hot dogs and the cheap ice cream is on the way out. So like after you've paid for everything, there's like one last time for you to fill yourself with food. And that's where the hot dogs are. That area is usually not very, because usually they just like set up the hot dogs, just line them up. And then as soon as people want them, then they like, they don't wait for you to order the hot dog to start putting the hot dog in bun. But I want to hear more about this, Ben. I mean, veggie dogs aren't great though. I mean, I've yet to find a veggie dog that was like, this is good, this is tasty. You eat them because like, it's not great, but it's convenient. It's not great, but we're at a cookout. Everyone else is eating hot dogs. Now I can have a hot dog too. I wonder if it was any good. I would like to try it. And it said, I had a pair of kangaroo shoes when I was in school. I kept my house key in the pocket. Wow, nice. I mean, the thing is, like, I've seen the hats, and I feel like I've talked to you guys before about hats, like running hats that have a little zipper in it. And I've never liked those, but some of you guys have mentioned that you guys like that. But I don't think I ever had the shoes with the zipper on it. I want to say that I feel like I had those shoes, maybe not one with the zippers in it, but I feel like I had that brand of shoe before. I would have had a kid's version, I think, but I don't know. I can't confirm. I don't know. Is my mom here? Maybe my mom knows. I don't think my mom would remember. She didn't pay attention to those things. Yeah. Frank says a veggie dog is just a receptacle for condiments. I would say, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. I find that I mean, I love ketchup and mustard. I enjoy the flavors of those condiments, but I definitely like load up on and I put ketchup on my hot dogs. I definitely load up on those when I'm having a veggie dog. And Ben says about the hot dogs, it was on the way out and staff were not as efficient as you described. It was not even a long line, so I'd expect to wait longer than 10 minutes. Oh, okay. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And Rick Sutter said, anyone interested? I went to Dick's yesterday because of a rumor they would begin selling the next percent 2s. They actually have them, but they can't sell them until May 13th. What's up with the delay on that? I just feel like the rest of the world has had them for like a long time. I feel like it's been out for so long, right? I mean, I haven't been trying to get any, but I feel like that shoe's been out for forever. No? That's weird. That's weird. Oh, and Ben Y follows up on the hot dog, says the veggie dog was extremely underwhelming. Oh, that's a bummer. But I will say though that the hot dog, I haven't been to an IKEA in years, but they're $1 each at the IKEA near me, and so you I'd buy like a handful of them at a time back when I ate hot dogs, and even then I'd be like, they're not great, but they're only $1, so I'm gonna eat 5 of them today. So I don't know. Interesting. Steven Gersdorf wants to know if they have veggie meatballs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that lingonberry sauce is good. I feel like a veggie meatball in the lingonberry sauce would actually probably still be pretty good. I would eat that. I would eat that. I don't mind veggie meatballs. My wife and I make them sometimes, and I usually make meatball subs with them. So I'll cook them in a little bit of tomato sauce, and then I melt some mozzarella cheese on top. That's how, and I'll eat it in like a hoagie bread, So we like to do that sometimes. That's tasty. We should do that. I haven't had that in a while. Garcia says top slice hot dog buns should not exist. You don't like that? I don't have an opinion on the top slice hot dog bun. I feel like it's fine. What was I watching? I feel like if you're eating a lobster roll, you got to have the top. I mean, it would be really weird to have a lobster roll that wasn't in a top slice hot dog bun, right? No? But I don't have a problem with the top slice hot dog bun. I do feel, but like all hot dog buns kind of tear easily because it's just cake. But yeah, the top slice ones do seem to tear a lot. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't really have an opinion. All right. Dimitri says, when you tested the Saucony endorphin speeds, did you notice a strong chemical smell? I really wanted to like them, but it's so strong. I don't recall that at all, Dimitri. Oh, that's interesting. And Dave Cowdrey talking about his recent half marathon success. Says it wasn't just the shoes. Ben Park's training plan and 60 miles per week helped a lot. First time under 2 hours as well. Awesome. That's cool. That's really great. I'm glad that plan worked out for you. As far as veggie meatballs goes, we're bouncing around on topics here today, guys. I love it. Jeff Elliott says the Trader Joe's veggie meatballs are okay. The Gardein ones are, I don't know how to say that word. Gardein ones are delicious. I don't mind the Tijuana, that I want to keep saying whenever I see TJ, I think Tijuana. I like the Trader Joe's veggie meatballs, but again, I douse them in like marinara sauce and cheese. So, yeah, that covers up a lot of shortcomings, I guess. Leona says the Trader Joe's everything ciabatta rolls are yummy, toasted for sandwiches. Oh yeah, I haven't had a good ciabatta bread in so long. Oh, now I'm intensely craving ciabatta bread. I feel like it's an underrated bread. Don't you guys think? I don't know. Martha says Ed Bud will surely notice the smell of the endorphin speeds. He's the shoe sniffer. And Danny J wants to know, is that why Seth was smelling the shoe? Have they been doing that lately? Did they get new ones? are you guys remembering this from their endorphin speed videos? Now, like, here's the thing. Like, I know Ed smells the shoe, but like I got this from Clint Anders, a guy, a very fast runner. And he made I think probably one of the best Vaporfly 4% videos I'd ever seen. And when he would do a breathability test on shoes, and he goes, and now let's test the breathability. And he would put his face up to the shoe and like try to take it like a breath like through the shoe. He's like, if you can breathe through it, it's breathable. If you can't breathe through it, it's literally not breathable. And so I do find myself doing that from time to time. So I did that with the Nova Blast. I was like, this jacquard mesh. I was like poking at it, like it's soft and stretchy, but is it breathable? You just inhale, exhale, put your like mouth up to it, and then deep breath in and out. The Nova Blast 2 is a very breathable shoe. Dominic Smirnowski says, good evening. 3 weeks out from my first race, a 5K. Need tapering tips. I would say for your first 5K, you probably don't need to taper out 3 weeks in advance. I'd say anything. You could probably go as short as 3 days, but maybe start thinking about like the week of start tapering. Keeping in mind that the stuff that you're doing like next week, that's 2 weeks out, isn't really going to like give you any benefit in terms of strength getting ready for that 5K. But I still think it's important because your next race is not your last race ever. So whatever work you're doing will count towards like whatever you're doing after this race. But also it'll help with mental sharpening too. So I would say for tapering is, I don't know, I think people over taper for 5Ks. That's my personal opinion. So I would say like, don't do a lot of hard running, but like, don't be afraid to still have like a light workout the week of, just something to like make sure your legs are still sharp. Yeah, have fun. Have a lot of fun. Good luck. You have to let us know how it goes. Stephen Gersdorf says, veggie meatballs are nothing but receptacles for gravy. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. Ian says, Seth just got the Endorphin Speeds 2 and Pro. Oh, I didn't know that they were sending those out to people already. Oh, cool. Benway says, Seth was sniffing the Endorphin Speed 2 as he unboxed them today. Interesting. Oh, and Carlos says he got the Shifts too as well. The Shift is a shoe that I definitely will not be looking at. I didn't like the first one. I mean, it was okay. It just wasn't for me. It's not the kind of shoe that I think I would like. So I'm definitely not going to get the 2. But the Speed and the Pro, I mean, I'll get those when they come out. It'll probably be a while for me to get to that, though. Remy says, currently making 3 pizzas, a deep dish, a flatbread, and a standard. It's going to be a good night. That's a lot of work. I mean, your family's lucky, but that's a lot of work. I don't want pizza. All right. Ooh, Noah says, really fortunate to be able to race a 10K at the same venue, the airport, as the NN Mission Marathon in 2 weeks. Oh, that's cool. Are you going to have all the fencing that they had? Because I felt like at the turns, they had really tall fencing to block the wind. So I'm like, oh, I wish more races could have something like that just to block like particularly windy spots. Like there's a spot at the end of the Chicago Marathon before the last or the only hill, quote unquote, of the marathon. It's at mile like 26.1. And you're coming up Roosevelt and you make is it Michigan at that point? It's Michigan, and then you make a right, and then you make the right up to Roosevelt. That spot right before that turn is always really, really windy because on the left you have tall skyscrapers and on the right you have open kind of fields. So it's like an open space versus a tall wall. So just the wind always hits. I wish there was a way they could block some of that wind, because every year it's like you're almost done with the marathon and then you got to go through like one of the races only few hills. And it's just like demoralizing, but at least you're going to be done soon. So there's that. And Noah says, I hope they have those fences back up because the wind could be a real issue at such a place. Yeah, I feel like with an airport, it's just such an open space. There's going to be wind running, like whipping through, or it could be. All right. Diego Vergara says, greetings from Chile. I'm not really fluent in English yet, but I like your content and how you make a review of a sneaker. Well, thanks, Diego, and welcome. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you're doing well. All right. Aiden Lundberg says, is there going to be a review on the Nike Pegasus 38? Yeah, but not for a little bit. I did a Nike by You, like a custom one, like I did last year for the Peg 37. I just got an email today. I think it was today, maybe late last night, saying that they just started making it. The current expected date is May 25th. So it's going to be a little while for me to get to it. But I feel like a lot of other people are getting it. So if you need to know like right away, there's a lot of people that are making very good videos about it now. Mine will just be a little bit later. All right. Saragon McKinney says, yo, Kofuzi, just clocked 300 miles on the A6 Nimbus Gel. Still a durable shoe. Yeah, I would expect no less, though, from a Nimbus. They usually put a lot of rubber on the outsoles on that. But that's awesome. Great job. Thanks for the follow-up. Does anyone else hear a dog barking? It's not my dog. My dog's taking a nap. That dog sounds like it's in the apartment. All right. All right, let's do one more and then I'm going to get going for a day. Chris Yao says, record-setting ratios are just receptacles for alcoholic beverages. I really like this theme that we got going here today, guys. I got to tell you, I've never drank anything out of a shoe before. What was it? Do you guys remember Shaq someone drank out of one of Shaq's shoes one time? And because like they were like talking about how he's like a just giant shoe. And someone drank, was it after a championship or something? Someone drank out of one of Shaq's shoes. Anyone remember what that was? I don't know. I just think it's a very strange thing to do. I don't know. I feel like for something like a 50K, a 50K like world record, I would, if I were Deslin, not to say that like Deslin's doing a lot of stuff wrong and she needs someone to tell some non-elite dude with a live stream on YouTube telling her what to do. But if I were Des Linden, I would make a trophy that has a little cup on it at the top. And I would give it to the next whoever breaks her record. And so that way they have something to drink out of when they're done. It could even be a little shoe at the top. She should make a trophy with a little shoe at the top that's sculpted out so you could put champagne in it, and then whoever breaks her record, whenever that might be, and maybe it happens soon, maybe it doesn't happen for decades, but whenever that happens, that person can then get the trophy, and then you drink out of that. I feel like that's something that should happen. I made a trophy for our family's fantasy football league. I've never won it, but it's a trophy with lots of spaces, so you can put your own nameplate on it whenever you get it. But you're supposed to give it to the winner every year. Whoever has it gives it to the next person who wins. And it's just a dude sitting on a couch with a football helmet on it. So I like trophies. I think it's because of Happy Gilmore. That's why I like trophies. But yeah. And Danny J says, no, they have to drink out of their own shoe. That's the new tradition. I suppose. Huh. Either way. Noah says, I'm definitely doing a shoey if I ever make the podium. Oh, that's funny. That's super funny. Awesome. Well, I feel like now it behooves us, any of us that's in here today, that if you ever win a race, you've got to drink out of your shoe. That's the rules now. Sorry. You're going to have to find a way to do it. Hopefully that can happen for one of us soon. That'd be awesome. I would love to see it. All right. That's going to be it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about a new pack from Camelback, the Camelback Ultra Pro. I've been running in it for a little while. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. And then we'll do another live stream. We're going back to weekday time tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday. So it's going to be 1 p.m. Central. I'll post like the reminder for the live stream early so that you could see it if you check YouTube kind of like earlier in the day. So I'll make sure that gets up there as well. So it's going to be 1 o'clock. And we'll do a Monday mukbang as well because it's Monday. I got a whole bunch of new foods to try out. So should be fun. Hopefully I'll see you guys then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody.